observed as Women's History Month. And of course, our focus is going to be Black women, needless to say. And tonight's salute or focus in terms of Black women is dealing with education. Now, we have had incredible Black women, of course, over the past at least 2 centuries that have made tremendous amount of advancements and other kinds of things dealing with education and specifically focusing on our children. So here we are today in the 21st century, and we're seeing all of these various problems and situations with our children. And for whatever reason, many are not relating that back to the fact that we're sending them to facilities, institutions, generally 5 days a week, in a way or to a entity or entities that oftentimes not only don't like them, but actually hate them. And then, of course, a system that is teaching them or giving them information slash misinformation of a certain type that's messing up their heads, really. So at this stage of the game, we don't understand that or don't want to deal with that. Well, I dare say we most certainly will. So starting in September here in Philadelphia, and we'll be going to different cities to also bring this initiative, and that is our own community-based educational apparatuses. Even if it's just 5 children, 10 children, nevertheless, we've got to begin to make sure that we provide education, edification for our children, and to do it consistently and to do it in a manner that represents the mindset that we're talking about and also striving to advance. And in talking about bringing forward the genius of the Black child. How are we going to do that if we send them to public school? So we realize that for many parents, they cannot do homeschooling, or they may feel that they don't have the actual academics or educational skills to do so. Well, we figured it out, and that is to develop collectives so that we take turns. Now, we figure that most parents can at least take a sick day, a holiday, a whatever, if they're working, in order to put in a day at our community-based collective homeschool, community school educational apparatus. And so we're going to be now introducing that. How can we educate our children ourselves and do it that it is conducive, in a way that is conducive to our people? Now, the other thing you're going to hear us talk more about is many states do have homeschooling programs, meaning the public school system does in fact have homeschooling initiatives where the parents can do homeschooling. Now, of course, the glitch to that is you have to kind of follow the information and program that they give you. Well, okay. Our position is, since we're dealing with repair, and that's what we're really now getting ready to push forward, our people have the right now to assert the position of being repaired. Therefore, we are saying that we should and will have the capability to utilize certain things that are out there until we reach the level of repair that we feel is adequate. Therefore, to utilize the homeschooling that is available through the public school system, right? This meant that there's also, shall we say, compensation for the capability to do that homeschooling. So normally it is for the parent. Well, we're saying now we want to make sure that parents that cannot do homeschooling because they work or what have you, we sub the collective that we do the homeschooling. And therefore, we have to be compensated for that service. Now, the glitch again is, of course, the system has certain kinds of requirements. That's okay. What we're saying is we are capable enough to fill in whatever it is that the system has in terms of its structure. We will fill in our structure. And as long as it meets the criteria so that they can take the test that is required, then this is what we're asserting. We will supplement our information, our instruction, which will be, of course, examined by the various professionals and so forth in order to make sure it's what it needs to be. And with that, still instruct and bring about our own educational capabilities. Because the key thing of this is the children have to be able to pass a certain level of so called achievement test. Now, of course, we don't want to buy into that, but again, temporarily, until we establish our own independent institutions thoroughly, we're saying that we will, as a process, we will begin at least to enable parents to do homeschooling through us. We will serve as the entity, as the collective, that the parents can tap into us. And in doing so, we provide a facility, the instructors, etc., for homeschooling. And we will supplement not only the information that, because note, the homeschooling that is provided by the city is done online. So again, reestablish the facility, reestablish the capability for there to be internet engagement, computer engagement. We also supplement not only what is provided based on their homeschooling criteria, but we also provide the arts and culture. We also provide our own history apparatus, et cetera, et cetera. So these are the things that we're now moving forward to negotiate. And again, based on repair, based on the fact that while some are talking about reparations, and we should, that there is a process that has to go into effect. And one of those processes has to be healing by way of education. So tonight, we are introducing to you one of the tools that we will be utilizing for our educational curriculum advancements for our children. And this just gives you a little glimpse. Now, of course, from the series, you will be able to see the development of curriculum, the development of how we're able to advance as we have been instructed in the context of raising the genius of the Black child, advancing the genius of the Black child, but doing it in a manner that is not only to make certain that our children are able to grow and develop, but within that, our communities, as well as moving forward to independent nations. So a holistic approach is now in effect. And with that said, we're going to get ready to bring in part two of Meet Our Author, Meet Our Independent Publisher, Educator. And this is just a beginning, family. We want to and are going to create a cadre, a collective of independent educators, of independent publishers, of independent writers, etc. But again, coming from the framework of our ancestors. And let me preference that, our freedom fighting ancestors. So with that said, I'm going to turn it back over to Brother Lumumba, and we're going to again talk with Brother Bourne and also see how you'll get more information about how you can support not just us, but yourselves, our children, in obtaining this series and passing it on to others. Because again, it's not just a purchase of a publication or a series. This is about building our families, communities, and again, independent societies / nations. Back to you, Brother Lumumba.
All right, absolutely, absolutely, outstanding. And yesterday we will be bringing to you live and direct Brother Knowledge Born Allah with the Voices of the Diaspora ebook series. All right. So within that, you're going to be able to get a quick intro into get a taste, get a glimpse of the actual ebook series, and be able to hear directly from the author and get some more further insights and information on what is entailed in this phenomenal bundle package, the phenomenal ebook series. And we're able to offer you also this month the special pricing, okay, um, special promo with celebrating Women's History Month. We extended it from the promo of the uh, Black History Month 100th, and we're extending that through Women's History Month in collaboration with the Million Women March organization. All right, and so we are offering a premiere promo package and bonus bundle. All right, and it is going to be for this month. All right, so we're going to go back. It's going back to regular price following, and so this informational package can be utilized in order to get the entire family activated, family. All right. And offer a element of putting together a curriculum as well as master classes. All right. Being able to teach the entire family. And, so we want to make sure that we get that into the hands of uh, teachers, advocates, and those instructors within the community to be able to fully engage and have aspects of alternative engagement for our youth, for our students, to be able to resonate with them directly based on their frequency, based on our rich and illustrious culture, history, and legacy. With that being said, let me bring on and allow and introduce himself, author, producer, publisher extraordinaire, Brother Knowledge Born Allah.
Peace, brother Lamont. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Mm.
And thank you for joining us, Brother Knowledge.
Honest to be here with my family, Dr. Empress. You and Lamumba, I got to get my life together for these introductions. I'm telling you, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm definitely glad to be here in this month, in this year, and with this mindset of liberation psychology via these products and services that we're pushing out for a cultural reformation and to be in the space of being transformed by the renewing of the mind, as the scriptures say. So I'm here. Whatever questions y'all have and anyone has in regards to the series.
All right. And I think you do have access or control as far as being able to do a share screen. um so what I wanted to be able to do possibly is just give individuals kind of a glimpse of the information that is entailed. So do you have a specific volume that you would like to share, that you think might resonate the most, or some, one of your favorites that you might want to share to give the audience a kind of a glimpse of what they are in store for as pertains to this phenomenal series?
Excellent question, brother Lumumba. Via this proposed war climate. I know we'll talk about that tonight, but this proposed war climate. Uh, I, I don't think we've ever got out of the mind frame. You've heard folks say, we at war. We a nation within the nation. And all of the, things from that regard. But are you prepared? Are you prepared? Are you prepared tactically? Are you prepared with the proper mentality? Are you prepared emotionally, physically, spiritually? Because we operate from a space of clarity and not from a space of fear. So one of the standalone volumes that I wrote included in this 13 volume set is called Secure the Legacy. So family and tactical preparedness for urban and rural survival. I was speaking with one of my elders, and we were going through a survival volume, and he was like, "What do you think about it?" I was like, "I like it." He was like, "That's it." I'm like, "Yeah," because that's what it was. You see what I'm saying? It was something that was written as a general guide. He's like, "But would you put it out there. I'm like, I told people to get the volume. You understand what I'm saying? He's like, oh, okay. Uh, but my mind frame is different. I have a different mind frame from actual combat operations. So uh, I have been in 1,500 engagements and actual tactical warfare. So it's not the same as someone who is describing about it with no practical aspects in regards to it. So the situational awareness kinds of situation and things like that, these are things that saved my life. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm dealing with this from that perspective, it's something that's for us, like geared to us. I know what it means to be, a black child in America. You know what I'm saying? To grow up to be a young black man in America, to grow up to be a man and a father and a tactician in America, and to take those skills and talents to the combat theater in an austere environment against a ever changing enemy and engage that enemy successfully and come back and still keep a black mind frame pardon me, the entire time. So this volume is written for the family, because after we go through all of the healing and reclamation processes that are necessary, that are laid out in these volumes, this is the place where you want to be, tactically prepared and with the mind frame of operating from a space of clarity so you can protect what's yours. Many of the people, if we look at it, Black Wall Street, if we look at some of these other places, it was those veterans who had came back from the war spaces that were able to, defend for as long as they could in these situations. You understand what I'm saying? So, again, not promoting fear mongering. That's the job of the mainstream media, but in the mind frame of one who's supposed to prepare. If you love your family, you're preparing for them on every front. You understand what I'm saying? So we can get financially prepared, we can get physically prepared, we can get emotionally prepared, we can get spiritually prepared, but then also having that sound being in totality in regards to what it is. So I'm gonna just go through a couple of pages of illustration so y'all can see what's there. I wanted to make sure that each page, every word on it, nothing was haphazard. And I always use a simple example in regards to that. If you're in your car, if you have a car, right? If you're in your car and you're out in traffic, what time is it now? We still in rush hour traffic, right? Probably to like 8 o'clock, depending on where you live. And you're in your car. What do you have in your car to sustain you through the rush hour traffic? There's inclement weather in all kinds of places, rain, snow, earthquakes of all types. Are you situated in that manner? And do you have the ability to sustain yourself if necessary for an extended period of time if the traffic isn't moving? What do you have in your car? What do you have in your person? What do you have in your mind and on your mind? Are you prepared in that space to be able to sit still, to turn your car into a bug in or a bug out vehicle? Or if you have to leave your car, are you prepared to set up some sort of shelter in this situation? I don't know if y'all remember I-95 was had some sinkholes a couple years back, and the family was just on I-95 stuck for hours. In some cases it might have been a day or two. So preparing your mind and your imagination for a best case scenario, because you're going to be successful if you're prepared, not worst case scenario. The language that we ascribe to our minds and our hearts in regards to that uh, decide has a deciding factor on the outcome. So if we're have a victory mindset, we're preparing. We're preparing our house and we're preparing our minds. So if you see these images, you're seeing what's happening. You're seeing what it is in regards to the necessity of fortifying yourself. So this volume Again, like Brother Muma was saying a few minutes ago, each volume is a master class. So I did 3-4 hours of training with a group of families for them to set up and to get into the mind of survival. Everybody in the family is responsible for the family survival. You know, I don't even like survival anymore. I like thrival. You understand what I'm saying? I like thrival. So, optimizing the mind towards a thrival perspective. So you're storing and preparing and training for your thrival. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is something that can be passed on from generation to generation as a part of their inheritance, the inherent space in their mind in regards to what it is and the necessity to build this sort of holistic psycho spiritual space where you're protected on all fronts. So just real quick going through, I lived through these engagements. So the imagery is reflecting the imagery is reflecting those things that I actually lived through. You understand what I'm saying? Like these are the images of your opposition. This is what your opposition looks like when they come for you. You understand? They come for you like this physically. They come, through these things emotionally. They come for you spiritually. They attack you on all fronts. The food you eat, the propaganda you ingest, all of those things are either feeding your fear or removing the fear from you. So we're no longer dealing with false expectations appearing real. But if you're not in the right mind frame, you will allow fear to take over your being, and it becomes, that thing that weighs on you. It's something to have you caught up in the situation. But I wanted to free our family from the fear because you are prepared. You understand? You are prepared, and you will be successful. If you adhere to the inner being, into your ancestors, your cultural way of life, all of these things. Every organization, every family is supposed to have some sort of tactical disaster relief and self defense program. If they don't have it, leave that place and go find you someplace else to actually be in that has these types of situations, as it goes. Just like the brother said to Sharif's father said to Cain, the minister society, he said, the hunt is on and you're the prey. If you're not prepared, you become the prey for the predators that are going to be running rampant when the fear gets the best of them. So being prepared, knowing how to put things in place, and this volume helps to prepare your imagination on the actual scope based off of someone who lived in these particular austere and combat environments. If you're thinking that this Red Cross is coming to save you, if you of this mind frame where this stuff hits the fan, where these emergency response vehicles and the people with these uniforms are coming to save you, you are sadly mistaken. You understand? The benefit of history is that we could go see these things. Fire hoses came from fire trucks. The duty and responsibility of a firefighter. They're supposed to go where the fire is. And they turned the water hoses on our brothers and sisters and children as if we were the fire that they were seeking to quell. So we have to understand that we're not in a tactical position to be able to render aid, then we're going to be subject. So just wanted to posit that real quick. I know we got a limited time, but y'all know I getting that mind frame. You understand what I'm saying? To tactically engage, and I'll yield at that point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I want to open up the floor really quickly, but before I do that, let me just ask this really quickly to you, brother Knowledge. Now, you say you were saying that tapping into experience. So, could you just is that coming from personal experience as far as combat situations? What is your experience in this realm? If you could, not to get too deeply.
I love it. I love being able to have an opportunity to be able to qualify things because it's a bunch of folks out here espousing with no skin in the game. So I spent 17 years in the United States Army. 5 of those years in Iraq and Afghanistan. So 4 trips to Iraq and 1 to Afghanistan. Those are just the main operations that folks might be familiar with. So I use those, but also tactical engagements all over the planet. And then post the military, being responsible and recovery efforts from human trafficking victims and the like. So definitely seeing on both sides of the coin the threat, and survival programs and things of that nature are things that we utilize and learn in the military and in the Black Revolutionary organizations. So definitely astutely trained in the realm of Black survival and Black family survival in that regard, from both a tactical and a uh, preparation mind frame. I appreciate that question, Brother Lumumba.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And thank you for that wonderful information and insight. And just for a point of clarity, real quick, my apologies, because I want to get to the audience and see if there's any questions or comments. But just to get clarity, so you were saying with um, dealing with trafficking, so you were directly involved with initiatives to be able to recover traffic individuals. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's not something I share publicly, just on the strength of what it is. Yeah, I have definitely been involved in some recovery operations, not something from the government. The government is profiting off of trafficking victims, as you know. You understand what I'm saying? But through some laudable efforts of a few good people, I'll say, in the recovery of Black men, women, and children from the hands of the handlers. I'll say that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for that wonderful information and insight. All right, family. So we're dealing with this brother with areas of expertise. All right, and field experience. All right. So and that's just one of the volumes, family. We're talking about a 13-book series. We're talking about volumes 1 through 9 that run succinctly, and also another 4 additional standalone volumes. All right, which brings it to a total of 13. Immaculate volumes of information. All right, with that being said, let me see if there's any questions or comments. All right, let me go to the listening audience. Let me come to the StreamYard first. If there's any questions or comments from the StreamYard, go ahead and let me know, and I'll just bring you right up to the stage. If you have a, let me see. Okay. All right. Questions or comments? Okay. All right. Not seeing any questions or comments coming from the StreamYard. Okay. Well, I'm putting up some comments that I'm seeing from our YouTube. So I'm putting those up as they come in. But I'm not seeing anyone directly from the StreamYard that has any questions or comments.
So, Brother Lumumba, while you're doing it, I'm going to make a quick comment, and it is that we began to kick some things off here in Philly. We started on Sunday in the development of what we call the Black Communities United initiative, which is kind of, well, not kind of, it's very much inspired by Brother Malcolm when he talked about developing a Black United Front. And so that did happen, at least to some degree, several years ago, and it did have an impact. It was effective until, like many things, that got infiltrated. And so, again, we feel we've learned at least some things from those things that have happened previously. And so now, as a part of MWM, we want to make sure that we're able to continue what the things that we start, the things that have to be advanced. And so, since MWM is not just about a march, never has been, we realize that in order to proceed, particularly after next year when we do our 30-year anniversary, we have to be able to be in our communities, to be able to organize, to be able to continue to grow, develop, connect. And so I've created something called Black Communities United, a national entity that is basically groups, organizations, individuals, businesses, but on a similar and same page. With that said, one of the things that will be required for each entity, for each unit, is an emergency response preparedness kind of entity within it. So what you're seeing and hearing tonight certainly gives you some indication of what it is we're going to be bringing. Again, on a national level, it concise, and connected. And in this way, if there's another Katrina or another COVID, and note, we say, even though some believe COINTELPRO no longer exists, we call it corporate telpro. That definitely exists in all of our communities, because all of our communities are being taken over. And the infiltration that is now not just the government, it is literally corporations sending people in to infiltrate our groups, organizations, communities. And again, we're going to bring you some of the receipts to what I just said so that you are a lot more aware and ready for what it is we now have to be prepared for as we proceed for real justice, full emancipation / liberation. So I'm going to turn it back over to Brother Lumumba. And again, for those who are interested in anything that we've talked about thus far, we are strengthening our communities, our families, and also for those who are now more nation building oriented, we're ready to bring that too.
All right, all right. I say, give thanks. And let me just bring up. I'm just going to bring up a couple people because I'm not sure if they are familiar with the tools here on StreamYard. So let me just bring up a couple people from the StreamYard room to bring them up to the front stage to see if there's any additional questions or comments. All right, so we have Sister Dottie. I'm gonna bring her up to the front stage. We also have Chief Elder. I'm gonna bring Chief Elder up. Okay, all right. So is there any questions? Let me come to Chief Elder first. Any questions or comments? If you're still here with us and have your audio together, any questions or comments, Chief Elder?
Not at this time. Not at this time.
Okay, all right. Give thanks. Give thanks. And let me come to Sister Dottie. Sister Dottie, is there any questions or comments that you might have presently?
Uh, shoot.
Okay, all right. That's all right. Um, not we're not going to force anybody. We're not going to twist your arm. But just want to open it up to see if any if there's any questions or comments or any further engagement. Now I know this might be a lot for individuals to take in. But this is where we at, family. We're seeing things on the political landscape. We're seeing things geopolitically that are happening in real time, family. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why Brother Bourne wanted to highlight this specific volume. And so, you know, the saying is, make sure that you stay ready so you don't have to get ready, family. And so the time to prepare, the best time to prepare is yesterday, right? But the next best time to prepare is right now. Okay, so let's make sure that we're getting this information, getting this insight to decolonize our minds, that we continue to move towards rebuilding relationships, rebuilding our families, rebuilding our communities, and rebuilding our nations. So this series is one of the tools that can be utilized in order to do so, in order to get into an aspect of re-education and getting to a process of decolonization of our minds, right? Getting back into our right minds, uh, getting back into alignment with our proper resonance and frequency, and getting back into a better or the best physical conditioning that we can, to allow us to operate better spiritually as well as mentally. All right. So we're taking that holistic approach, as we do, family, to make sure that we are in alignment and in continuous elevation, uh, holistically, mentally, spiritually, as well as physically. All right. So with that being said, let me come back to Brother Knowledge. Um, if you could just give us a breakdown of this book, give us the title of it, and which where this falls in line of the series. Just get a little bit further insight.
I'm not hearing any volume.
Right.
Okay.
Hold on. All right. So let me.
Okay, there you go. We got you
All
now.
right. All right. All right. So this is Secure the Legacy, Black Family Tactical Preparedness for Urban and Rural Survival. And I left this as the last installment. There's, as we stated, 13 volumes, and 1 through 9 are Voices of the Diaspora, and then I have 4 standalone volumes. And in the order, this is the last installment, because this is the place where you got everything together. We deal with everything from entrepreneurship, the restoration of the Black woman, mother, goddess energy. In volume 1 is entrepreneurs. Volume 2 is dedicated to the restorative order of the universe, which is the Black woman. So we're dealing with that, proper regard, proper respect, proper veneration in that regard. We don't have a nation without uh, our woman. We all came from her womb. We all came from her womb. Okay? There's no other way for us to get here. I don't care what they're doing in these laboratories. You understand what I'm saying? There's no other way for us to get here. So womb reverence, the honor of our mothers. I don't care what pantheon you go in regards to religion and all of that. So we honor mother. We honor Black mother. We honor Black mother, God, universe from a universal perspective. And as long as we turn away from her guidance and her insight, we will continue to suffer. You understand? So volume 3 and 4, after you coming out of the mind frame of womb reverence, what's in your mind, what's in your heart, dedicated to the revolutionary thought leaders of the past and the present. So volume 3 and 4 from across the globe. So whether we're talking about here in America, throughout the diaspora, or the mother continent of Africa, laying out profiles of these leaders, past and present, in regards to their goals, aims, and objectives. You understand? So for those ones who have that liberation fervor from the tactical perspective, we have a revolutionary curriculum for them in mind, whether they're physical tacticians or spiritual tacticians. There's something in the curriculum for them. Volumes 3 and 4. Now, volume 5 deals with those who approach things from a long-term sustainable situation. So our thought leaders in regards to science, technology, engineering, art, agriculture, and mathematics. So giving them workable models in that regard, in regards to their minds, and if their minds think scientifically or mathematically, or they can add on technology or engineering. We have a lot of rhetoric out here and not a lot of concrete examples. So the follow through in regards to long-term sustainability comes from this place right here. So this volume is dedicated to giving examples of those who came before us, so that we can raise up our scientists, our technologists, our engineers, our agriculturists, our artists, and our mathematicians. Sport and play cannot be the only place of emphasis. The entertainment industry cannot be the only place of emphasis that has our young minds in that kind of way. We can no longer give credence to these masqueraders who are here cosplaying and showing this particular way of being as if it's the only way. We're not dealing with the crack rock and the wicked jump shot like Biggie was saying in one of his rhymes. We have to be able to imbue the world that we want to have and be in divine alignment with our future now. So this curriculum is based strategically off of that. Now, volume 6 deals with the content creator piece aspect, our narrative. Our narrative, as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. So if we're thinking that we're criminals and this is the only way you could be seen and heard is to be a buffoon, a man with a dress on and a wig and all this other foolishness that we got going on, that's attacking the psyche to tell the black man and woman and child that in their natural state, they're not good enough. And that begins with a narrative. Al-Hajj Miguel Chavez, brother Omar asked that question. Who taught you to hate yourself? So this improper propaganda campaign continues to run rampant. So to counter the COINTELNOW operatives that are out here pushing these things to the music and the entertainment industry and all of these other facets, the food, the air, and all of that, we have to have proper propaganda machines that are there and proper propagandists that are out here that are pushing a narrative of cultural awareness. And in regards to returning to who you are, we teach you to love the hair that God gave you, so we can bankrupt these interlopers that are selling us animal hair. You're putting animal hair in your hair? Understand? Like, wear these eyelashes and all this stuff. If you knew the health problems and the things that were happening with these chemicals and things like that, we would be more mindful. So, volume 6, we're changing the narrative. We're restoring a narrative that's righteous to us. Volume 7 deals in the realm of education and our scholars. We're celebrating our scholars in that regard. So those who have built communiversity over the years, the reason why a homeschool exists, and the homeschool evolved into the schoolhouse and all of these aspects in regards to education. Dr. Bobby Eugene Wright, peace and blessings be upon him, said there's a difference between education and training. Education is at home. Training is what you get out in the society. So if we aren't educating our children at home, we are setting them up for failure. We're setting them up to be subservient to our enemy's rule. So volume 7 is dedicated to that. And volume 8, just real quick, I know we running out of time. I don't want to be too much with it. Volume 8 is dealing with that regard of what it means to be a champion. So beyond the battlefield, moving beyond the battlefield, and we're dealing with it from that particular vantage point. We're dealing with what happens after we win. We've adopted the victim mindset so much so that we no longer thinking about us in a winning mind frame. So what does that look like holistically in that regard? So we're dealing with beyond the battlefield. We're dealing with the mind frame of a liberated future. And then we get to volume 9. Volume 9 is dealing with volume 9. Pardon me. 1 second. Volume 9, we're dealing with mastering the craft of telling your own Black story. We have to have our own, as I just was speaking about with volume 6. Volume 9 is akin to that, to having a space of our own propagandists, our own storytellers, our own griots in our family, the archivists and the people in the family that are there, that ask pertinent questions, that begin the space of documenting your family life and your family history, so that your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren benefit from your stories. I always give that reference of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali somehow in his God consciousness knew that he was going to be in a position where he could no longer speak. So what he did was he recorded his thoughts and ideas in the thousands of tapes with these tape recorders, thousands of tapes, and he documented his own thoughts and ideas to leave as an inheritance for his children, his grandchildren, and his great grandchildren. They don't have to wonder what their father, their grandfather, their great grandfather saw on different subjects, right in real time, right in the time and space continuum that he existed in. So forever in their minds, they can go back and listen to these tapes and get a sense of what he was thinking in real time, and not how the world thinks about him or how somebody fair weather might have thought about him. They might not have no clue based off of how he presented himself in the world, but his private, intimate thoughts right there in the moment, it's there. So volume 9 is dedicated to call those things back to your remembrance, to be able to understand the benefit of your family, the lessons of your family, the trials and tribulations that your family uh, had to undergo in order for them to exist in the time space continuum that they did. So the 4 standalone volumes, just really quickly, I heard from the last one, so I won't have to go back into it. From Nameless to Knowledge is the first one, and that's my own personal memoir going off of that volume 9 aspect in regards to archiving. We have to be able to share our own thoughts and ideas as well. So it's 100 reflections for me on my own personal journey, with the hopes and the goal with this volume that people young and old will be able to sit down and share their reflections in regards to life, with their future generations. Then we go from there to the power of the Black family, and the power of the Black family deals with a holistic approach of Black family restoration and reformation. We do not shy away against the traumatic experiences that have happened as a result of the experimentation called America, of the experimentation called the plantation, of the experimentation of global repression and disorder. So we're looking from that particular space and working through those places from the results of the Great Ma'afa to present, and how to put together a plan of attack in regards to what it means to be able to come back to the table and tap back into our power source, our power base, the Black family. And we have uh, the Sankofa effect, and the Sankofa effect goes from the family space to the Black organizational space. So the Sankofa effect, that going back and fetch it, the looking back to look forward, and going through that pantheon and timeline of history in regards to Black organizations. Your Black family is supposed to be your first organization. Now, out in the community, in regards to organization, we give you working models in regards to Black organizations to see if this is a viable option for you going forward and growing forward. So, in that realm, in regards to Black organization, we don't say, okay, this organization or that organization or pit them one against one another. We offer you insight into these organizational structures and understand how organization is structured. What are some of the challenges they face and the like. So when you think in your mind of getting together with someone outside of your family or even inside of your family, you have an understanding of what it can take or what kind of work or what happens when Black people begin to come together and organize themselves. That's where organization comes from, that organ of ability to be a part of a whole or a collective in that space. And again, the final one was the one that we were just discussing, this secure the legacy, the Black family tactical preparedness for urban and rural survival. And I put it that way because after you go through these other volumes, now we can discuss tactical training from this perspective because we've dealt with the trauma, we dealt with the issues, we identified who's what and where in regards to the family. And now we can look at this whole tactical strategic plan after we've gone through the healing and the reformation to be able to be on one accord. So this 13 volume set is dedicated to the total restoration of the Black family from the youngest to the eldest and our ancestors and our ancestors yet to come. So I'll yield with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And so we are talking once again with author, producer, publisher extraordinaire, historian, let me add, and scholar of today, Brother Knowledge Born Allah, with the phenomenal ebook series, Voices of the Diaspora. All right. All right. We're offering that. We're able to offer that currently, family. We're doing a collaboration. This is, what we're building with the Ujamaa partnerships. All right. With the UP. We want to elevate and uplift all of our family, all of our community up. All right. And so with that, we're able to offer for this month, for the continuation of Women's History Month, the 13 book series for the low, low price of $99. All right. That normally would go for $150 family for the 13 book series, which is still a steal of a deal. All right. For the just an enormous amount of information that is entailed within these series. Okay. Let me see questions or comments. Let me see. We have. Okay. I don't believe there's any additional questions or comments. Let me just open up the floor really quickly to see if there are any additional questions or comments. Okay. All right, family. All right, with that being said, let me come back over to Sister Empress.
All right. Well, again, family, we are, going to continue to do what we need to do, and again, that is with consistency. And I say that because a lot of things that we now see and hear, it's not consistent. And so our position is to make certain that we are present, that we are accessible on an ongoing basis, and not just in the context of virtual. We're literally, as this weather begins to break, you'll see us in various communities, because again, that's for us is what's going to help make the real difference. The fact that yes, we can connect with you nationwide, worldwide via the virtual tools, but what about being in our community? This is why last week we had Brother Divine to come back and give us an update on what he's doing over there in Trenton, because again, that's boots on the ground kinds of things, and that's what we've got to now show our people, that some of us not only understand that, overstand that, but we are about it, to be in our communities. The use of technology is wonderful. We appreciate it. We're learning more and more as we move forward, but there could never be any kind of comparison or what have you when it comes to being able to be one-on-one with our people. There's an energy there, there's a synergy there like none other. And once you begin to remove yourself from that, then we begin to remove ourselves from some very, very important and fundamental aspects of our being. So again, as the weather breaks, I'll be coming to Newark. I'll be coming to Trenton. I talked about the divide about coming to Trenton already. Of course, DC, Maryland, Baltimore, that is, and other regions, you know, in the southern region and also on the West Coast. We have to now move forward. We cannot just do that again by virtual means. I mean, we will do that because it does enable us to save time or energy and even sometimes money. But the bottom line is, if in fact we're going to do and build what we're really talking about, then that requires a very, very not only holistic approach, but a hands-on approach. And so again, we'll be bringing to you brothers and sisters that are, as we say, serious. And we mean that from the SIRIUSLY, being serious, and SERIOUS. So, you know, the time has come to kind of show who is really who now. Because, you know, as Brother Knowledge mentioned, we got a lot of fake stuff going on right now. And we dare say, we're going to be able to show the difference. We're going to be able to show that one thing is not necessarily the other thing. People need to see that distinction now. They need to know that Black women have a very, very not only important and significant role in the development and advancement of our struggles, but there's no longer going to be an acceptable or easy way to dismiss us. And that's going to be made clear. You're not going to be able to say out of one breath, oh, I love Black women, and, you know, I appreciate Black women, and then not show me what you're doing in that regard. We have to now raise the bar. We must now make certain that there's a criteria. We have to now define, what does it mean to be Black unapologetically? And as we said, and we covered a little bit of this on New Day, we're going to give you some of the essentials of being Black. What that really means, not what somebody told you or what somebody told them or the following of, you know, some, shall we say, other people who say that that's what it is. And no, we're going to give you what we know and what we can prove based on what we do. So with that said, we'll go over to Brother Lumumba. We're going to close out, and we'll see you next time around.
All right, yes indeed, absolutely. And once again, family, we have the special promo pricing of $99, regularly for $150, and you can contact, get further information from myself at powerman2282@gmail.com, or you can text me at 267-495-5695. Again, that's powerman2282@gmail.com. Also 267-495-5695. All right. So we have options through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle. So whichever you prefer, all right, for payment options. All right, you can also use this as a uh, fundraising tool as well for your community or school and so on and so forth. So just get with me on that as well. 10% of the proceeds will go to that allocated organization, institute, and so forth. And so, there's options and availability there for doing, those type of initiatives. All right, as far as it pertains to fundraising. All right, we also have the bundle deals as far as for students, for entire classrooms. Okay, which offers additional discounts if you're having 20 or more. All right, family. So again, get in contact with us, get this phenomenal information. Continue to tap in with us as we continue to bring you such authors and publishers and scholars extraordinaire, producers such as Brother Knowledge Born Allah, and let's continue to build, family. With that being said, let me come to Brother Knowledge for final thoughts and closing remarks.
Make sure y'all can hear me okay. Can you hear me
Yes,
okay?
sir. Check
All right,
one,
all
check
right.
two. We got you loud and clear.
So I'm thankful for this opportunity. If we have, in honor of Black Women's History Month, I don't care about any of that other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? In honor Black Women's History Month, for our mothers and our sisters, and our daughters and our nieces and our cousins. I'll dedicate 10 bundles to 10 Black families, in honor of Sister Chi and Brother Lumumba. So if y'all identify the families, and I'll send them to them. And also 3 homeschool networks as well. So whether they're charter, whether they're homeschool, whatever the case may be, that y'all choose, in honor of mother, grandmother, great grandmother, daughter, sister, wife. That is the Black woman. So y'all can thank Dr.
Right,
Empress,
right.
okay, with her mind powers. You understand what I'm saying? With her mind powers, and Brother Lumumba, with his persuasive tongue. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all get the benefit. And the goal is to get this out. We need to get this out to our families, to get this out to our people. And again, what Brother Moon was talking about in regards to fundraising opportunities, this is a way to raise funds for your household, for your organization, for whatever you have going on, that is righteous amongst Black people. You understand what I'm saying? We all need our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, that mitochondrial DNA and that cosmic consciousness that is that universe. So we continuing on to grow in ascent. And I'm thankful again for this opportunity to be able to dialogue and to collaborate with Black people that are truly dedicated to the reformation and resurrection, for that new day that we're dealing with in regards to Black people rising up and repairing and healing. So thank y'all again both for this opportunity, Brother Mumba and Sister Dr. Empress.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you, Brother Knowledge, for bringing this wonderful information to the forefront. All right. So once again, family, we are able to present this special promo package and bonus bundle benefit series. All right, which includes the 9-volume series of Black Excellent Culture and History. You get the 4 additional standalone volumes. That's a total of 13 volumes in the series that can be used as individual curriculums or master classes. We're also opening up, such as this, open forums for Q&A with the author and publisher. also fundraising opportunities available, and also we'll be building out and creating as well. So you'll get that with your purchase, an online community, family. So we're opening up platforms or pages that's going to be on Facebook and so forth, developing an online community of parents, teachers, facilitators, behavioral health experts, and other experts in the field, family. All right, so I definitely tap in with us and continue to build as we bring these opportunities to the forefront and continue to empower, edify, and elevate ourselves, our children, our families, our communities, and our nation, family. With that being said, once again, you can contact me at the email powerman2282@gmail.com. Again, that's powerman2282@gmail.com. All right. And also text at 267-495-5695. Again, that's 267-495-5695. All right, we're getting ready to close out. Thank you. We'll be getting ready to close out for this evening, family. Thank you all for joining us. All right. And also, of course, we have nationalmwm@aol.com. You can contact Sister Empress directly there. All right, for additional information as well. All right, with that being said, we're going to close for this evening, family. You got to get ready. We're going back to back today because we got Ethereal Journey coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, family, so you can join us there as well. With that being said, we're going to close out for this evening. Thank you all for joining us. I want to, of course, give thanks first and foremost to the Most High Creator Creators. Give thanks to the ancestors and the elders, those who have shed blood, sweat, and tears and paved the way to allow us to be here today. I want to thank you all. Thank you for your time, energy, and effort, dedication, determination, and discipline. All right, there is no us without you. With that being said, I want to bid you all truth, justice, peace, love, freedom, power, prosperity, protection, and divinely principled purpose. I want to say, let us continue to strategize, organize, and mobilize. And finally, family, Pamoja Chutashinda. Together, we will win. All right, peace and love, family. I'll see y'all at 8 p.m.
Giovanna Kubala conosci neghe Shange Baro Nobele Nega Giovanna Kubala conosci neghe Shange Baro Nobele Nega Giovanna Kubala conosci neghe Shange Baro Nobele